Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging, where in every episode, my guests and I, we strive to offer you proven tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to greatly improve your overall health and well-being. So we're here to inspire you and empower you to become your best self so you can go out and make a bigger positive impact in the world. So we have three great segments, for this episode. The first one is called Safe Detox for Health and Longevity. Detoxing is so important. We live in an environment of so many chemicals and so much toxicity that you need to learn how to do. There's lots of different ways to detox and easy ways and longer ways. But our expert guest, she's going to show you how to safely detox for better health and for longer longevity. Our second segment is called the Money Vibe. It's all about money vibrations and how you can raise your vibration to attract the money that you need. So that's going to be a real beneficial one. And then the third one is called Prioritizing Your Self-Care Over 50. And our guest he's actually been a personal trainer and health coach just like me for almost as long as I have. So he's got some good ideas and some ways that how you can actually prioritize your self-care so you'll actually get it done. So these are all three great segments. I know you're going to enjoy them and they're going to be very beneficial for you. So, and be sure and watch the whole shows so you'll get all the best information, and also all of our guests offer you some free valuable gifts. So you'll learn how you can get your free valuable gifts from all of our guests. So before we play the first segment, we've got a short message from our new sponsor, Superior Source Vitamins.
Stop forcing down those massive pills that end up in your toilet, not in your bloodstream. Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. For the very first time in my 43 years as a personal trainer and wellness coach, I am endorsing and recommending a unique line of nutritional supplements. Superior Source produces an exclusive line of microlingual tablets that dissolve instantly under your tongue. I have a hard time swallowing large tablets and capsules, but these tiny tablets are the easiest to take I have ever found. These products are clinically tested for purity, potency, and have the highest rate of absorption. Microlingual tablets are ideal for those with digestive challenges and for infants and children, as there are no pills to swallow. They offer a full line of key nutritional supplements, including many for children. So why give these supplements a try? They're easy to take, highly absorbable, and inexpensive. Join thousands who have ditched their pills. One tablet under your tongue will make you a believer.
Yeah, I just want to mention about those. Even if you don't have trouble swallowing, but the main benefit of these supplements are they get dissolved under your tongue and go directly into your bloodstream, so you get way higher percentage of absorption, and it gets into your bloodstream right away. So you'll notice the difference. Where when you swallow capsules, a lot of it gets destroyed in your stomach acid, and it takes a lot longer to get into your bloodstream, and it's not very highly absorbable. So I highly recommend you give these supplements a try, and they're inexpensive as well. All right, we're ready for our first segment, how to detox safely. Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And the title of this segment is Your Body Begging for a Detox? And I think probably most of us are begging for a detox, absolutely. So our expert guest today, she's an associate and good friend of mine. Her name is Isabel Yang. She's a nutritional consultant, health coach, and detox expert dedicated to helping motivated individuals take control of their health and age vibrantly. After losing her mother to a preventable illness, she committed to empowering others to make small, meaningful changes that lead to transformational results. Her motto is simple: let the good stuff in, kick the bad stuff out. Through her vibrant health circle and her second heart, liver cleanse. She helps clients nourish their bodies, eliminate toxins, and restore vitality without reliance on medications. So good. So, Isabel, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, always good to see you, and you're doing some great work. So let's start out, just in case, maybe our audience is not really totally clear on all the toxins and what toxicity is, and what are
Yeah.
some of the common toxins that are out there. And also, I know you mentioned that there's also emotional toxicity as well. So why don't we start with that and
Yeah.
talk just a little bit about emotional toxicity and how that affects our health.
Yeah. So emotional toxicity, if we pay attention to our thoughts, we have, I think some research have saying that we have like 6,800 different thousands thoughts go through our head every day. And some of them are not useful. Some of them are quite toxic and negative talks. Sometimes if things go wrong, we tend to blame ourselves. We're not enough. Sometimes thoughts come up like, oh, I am stupid. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. This is never going to be happen to me. Good things don't happen to me. So these thoughts are toxic because it solicits a cortisol response in our body. And when cortisol goes up, then we're not relaxed. We're in fight and flight mode, which doesn't help with body repair, rejuvenation. So we pay attention to our thoughts, being curious. I think that's the first step. It's just kind of curious. Oh, how, why do I have these thoughts that comes up? So yeah, emotion is a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important because we know now that what manifests in our physical body begins in our mental emotional state. So if you're having, negative thoughts or being anxiety or you're feeling stress, you're creating stress in your body, and stress, like I say, is a real precursor to almost all chronic illnesses, right?
It is. Yeah. And it's even like more than like if you have a happy, attitude, you have a positive attitude that precedes anything like even, healthy foods or exercise. That's really important because you're giving your body the signal, hey, it's safe. It's safe to relax. So that we really need that.
So in your program, you help people deal with their mental.
Yeah, we do in the liver
So
cleanse. So liver, according to Chinese medicine, it's your second heart, and that's where you store. Most people store anger, resentment, and when we take care of the liver, it's just very magical that where we put our thoughts, our actions will follow, and if we're very intentional in guiding our students about their emotions and letting go of negative emotions, and just they're calmer, people around, they're less reactive. Let's say they're just less reactive to situations.
Yeah, that's so good. I will talk a little bit about what the common toxins that are in our environment that are just really, really difficult to avoid.
It's really difficult to avoid. It's in air, right? Air is something that we have no control over, right? Any of the manufacturers, and also, what's in the air from gasoline, from all that air pollution. But what you can do is you can get a good air filter in your home, and most importantly is while you're sleeping, right? If someone is on a budget, they only can buy one air filter, then put it in your bedroom. That's where you're sleeping and recovering. So in the air, and also in the food we eat, that's a huge one, right? And if hopefully, your audience here are not eating processed food. So if you are eating processed food, look at the labels and see if there are any ingredients that you don't recognize. Your body doesn't recognize it. So when that happens, it means inflammation in the body. Your body have to deal with that. So the foods we eat, and even in our house, right? If we buy new furniture, new car, there's that, a lot of people like that new car smell, but it's actually not good for you. So, and in our furnitures, our carpets, it off gas, right? Even when you first buy them, and also for a little bit, they do off gas. And the containers that we use for we do to-goes, plastic containers, that's all just toxins that are in contact with our body, like water bottles. Right, water bottles leach plastic, especially when it's heat up.
Yeah.
So in the food that we eat, we get additives, chemicals, preservatives, and oil. That's another one. Is oil. If it's oil, there are two different type of damages that oil can do. One is if it's hydrogenated oil, which is they insert another the structure of the oil is changed so that it has a longer shelf life, but it's not good for our body. It makes our cells membrane very rigid. Right, so it just can't communicate, right? It stops communication in the body. And another type of oil that's damaging is when you heat up the oil too high. For example, olive oil, the smoke point is 375. If you go any higher than that, then that oil is damaged. It's oxidized when you ingest it. So be very careful with that.
Yeah, avocado oil is just much better. It goes up to about 500. But you know what? I think we talked about this before. Is you don't really need to heat oils. You know, like even like you're doing like walking, like using a wok or heating. You can cook with water. You cook with water, and then you can put after you turn the heat off, then you could add your oil for the texture and for the value of the oil. But you don't need to heat the oils.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
cook it with water. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the message is, you know, we've chemicalized our environment. Chemicals are everywhere. And they always have some damage results in our bodies. So it's so important to regularly do the different detox methods that Isabel teaches to help your liver to get those chemicals out of your body, because they are causing stress and compromising your immune system, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the most important, our body knows how to detox. We have detox organs. Our liver supports detox, colon, our lung, our lymph. We do have detoxification. Our body knows how to detox. Otherwise, we would be dead by now, because with all these chemicals.
Yeah.
So we just need a little bit of support. We need some support for for these organs, and also just kind of know that what's in the environment that could harm you and eliminate the best you can. We cannot eliminate all the different chemicals in our environment, but do the best we can, like cleaning products or your shampoo, your conditioner, your detergents, all that have chemicals. But you can choose one that has less and still does a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, I know you have a new program called the 7-Day Head to Toe Detox. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it's a free course for everyone. I just want everyone to kind of pay attention to what they're eating, what kind of water they're drinking. That's important. And also also talk about negative thoughts, how to detox from negative thoughts. And from mold. Mold is very prevalent in our food, in our building, maybe sometimes in the car. So we have to really pay attention to that. And also parasites, where I talk about parasites in the 7-day course. We all have them. And they are, if you ever walk barefoot on the ground, you swim in the lake, you eat raw produce, they are there. So how do we support our body to get rid of parasites so they don't take our nutrients? And I also talk about some of the environmental chemicals we just talked about right here, right? How do you avoid environmental chemicals? And then lastly, how do you support your liver? How do you support your liver so your liver can do a better job of detoxing for you?
Yeah. And so I think you just told me too that anyone can join that 7-Day Head to Detox at any time, and you can still get all the information. So
yes.
That's great. So we'll definitely put the link in how you can connect to that. That'll be in the show description. So I highly recommend you check that out. It's free and really valuable, great information. So I know you also do, private coaching for people who are actually maybe are having some really chronic illnesses and really need some help and some coaching, because I just want to mention real quickly that it's not a good idea to just jump in to do some kind of a systemic detox if you don't know what you're doing, because you can make yourself sicker. So
Yeah,
talk a little bit.
that's exactly right. So yeah, and like there are like juice detox out there. Don't ever do it. Your body is not ready for that. Those are for people that have been working on their health for a while and they know what they're doing. But most of the time people are like, oh, juice detox, that's really popular. I once did that and I just got tons, like very severe back pain from that, because your body is confused. You're not supporting your liver, your detox organ, and then you're trying to mobilize toxin. That's just not a very pretty picture.
Yeah, because if your liver is clogged up and also your colon's clogged up, and you start doing a detox, you start putting all these toxins in your bloodstream and it can't get out, can make you really sick, right?
Yeah, and you're like retoxing yourself again, because our
Right.
body is very smart. It keeps the toxins safe in our fat cells, between joints. Sometimes people get joint pain because
Hmm.
toxin could be one of the factor, but in the fat cells. And when we lose weight too fast, these toxins are released into the body, but there's not a good way to escrow them or bind them out of the body. Then it creates like a detox reaction.
Yeah. So if someone wants to learn more about your private coaching, uh, well, we have the links where they can contact you, and you offer like a free consultation on talk
Yeah,
about how.
I do.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
could contact me, and we can, and your whoever's interested, let me know a little bit about your challenges, and then we can go from there to see if we're a good fit.
Okay, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, well, we're getting short of time, but I just want to say that this is such an important topic, and and I know I really love how you do it. You don't make it real. It's not really difficult and really hard to do and really hard to stick with. So I know you offer some really great programs, but just on the last thing, how about what can you say to our audience to encourage them to actually do this, step up and do it, how important it is, and uh, give them some motivation to actually take action and do it.
Yeah.
They got to
So
do it.
yeah, think about, well, look at you, Rico, right? How old are you? You are vibrant, you're healthy. So think about how you want yourself to look. This is 20, coming up 2026. Do you want your last year, your 2026 to look exactly like 2025, or do you want it to be better, to be more energetic, to be more vibrant, right? To have more energy to do the things that you want to do. And if we don't take health into our own hands, in our society doesn't support like natural health, right? So it's something that we have to take into our own hand, and build up good healthy habits. It could be, for you, it could be just sleep, right?
Mhm.
Concentrate on your sleep, get good 7, 8 hours of a good sleep, drink clean water. It could be as simple as that, but start doing something, because if we don't take health into our own hands and do something,
You're
it's
just going to
we
go down. It's not going to get
very
better. It's,
quickly.
it's going to
Yes.
get worse. And also, I just want to let you know, I mean, when you do a detox like what Isabel recommends, you're going to look and feel better too. Your skin's going to feel better, and you're going to look better, and you're going to have more energy. So it's something really valuable. So we highly recommend. So we'll put all those ways that you can contact Isabel Yang. So Isabel, thanks again. It's always great to have you on the show, and thanks for your great work.
Yeah,
And
thank you. Thank you for just having this show for everyone that's interested, and come in, get some tips and get some motivation. Yeah, all people do need to be inspired and motivated.
yeah, so
Yeah, good
thank
work.
you, and thanks to our audience. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, we are back. And once again, I just want to mention, Isabel, she is so knowledgeable, she's so good, and she's so easy to work with. And she doesn't give you anything too extreme that's too difficult. She shows you ways that you can ease into it and really get some effective detoxification. So I highly recommend you contact her. Be sure and get her a free, valuable gift. All right, have another short message from you for you, and then we'll get into our second episode.
If in your 60s, 70s, and 80s you were healthier, stronger, with more vitality than in your 40s, it's not genetics, it's not luck, it's the ageless living lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Rico Cavaglia, creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle. I've had the good fortune to work with hundreds of individuals just like you to greatly improve their overall health and well-being. And my clients aren't just staying healthy, they're out hiking mountains, playing sports, and feeling better in their 70s and 80s than they did in their 40s. My clients and I are living agelessly, and I know you can as well. So let's have a friendly conversation about your personal aging challenges and your goals. There's no pressure, just an honest conversation about where you are now and where you want to be, and whether the ageless living lifestyle is a good fit for you. So I'm here for you. Let's talk.
And on that note, again, let's have a conversation. I'll give you some good tips, and there's no pressure. If you are interested in my coaching programs, I'll tell you about them, and we'll see if we can work together. But absolutely no pressure whatsoever. All right, we're ready for the next one. It's going to be a really interesting one. How you can raise your money vibe. Hello, I'm Rico Cavaglia. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And the title of this episode is Elevate Your Money Vibe. How your money vibe shapes your health, your aging, and your inner peace. This is such an important topic. I'm really interested in this. And our expert guest today, her name is Jackie Woodside. She's a USA Today and 5-time international Amazon best-selling author, a TEDx speaker, international trainer, and professional coach. She is the founder of Conscious Living Summit and the Conscious Living Podcast. So Jackie Woodside, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, Rico, it's really good to see you again. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure. We always have some great things to talk
Me too.
about.
I always enjoy our time together.
Oh, yeah, me too. So, okay, so, my first question, I really want to start with the first question is, why do you think so many people have these money issues? I'm not talking about, obviously a lot of people have financial issues and trying to make money, but why do we have these psychological issues, that people fear money or they think it's evil or all those kind of things? Why do you think how did that happen?
We very much equate money with survival. Without having money, it is harder to live in the world, to have sustenance. So I think one of the fundamental fears that people have is not having any money and ending up on the streets, ending up homeless. People talk about that all the time. So we equate having money, excuse me, at the most basic level, we equate it with survival, and then we equate it with value and worth and self-esteem. If I have a lot of money, if I've made money, I'm valuable, I'm worthy, I'm good enough. But because numbers are infinite, say you've made $70,000 a year and then you get a raise and now you make 85, but it's funny, you don't really feel any more worthy. And then maybe you make 105 and you don't really feel more worthy. So the reality is that we've confused our sense of worth with our sense of earning. And because people don't really understand that your value is inherent to who you are, not what you earn, people struggle with fear and anxiety and low self-esteem based around money.
Yeah. Well, what about, how did that saying come about that, like, money is the root of all evil? Where did that come from?
Yeah, it's in the Bible. That's a biblical verse. It's actually the love of money is the root of all evil.
Oh, the love. Okay.
But, people shortened it and just, turned it into money is the root of all evil. And, I think that there's some evidence for that because there's a lot of corruption in the world today. But it's not about
it's not about money.
Right. It's not about money being corrupt. Money is neutral. Money is just a commodity that we use to exchange value. So it's not that money is a bad thing or an evil thing. It's the way certain people use money through corruption and kind of gaming the system, if you will, toward the rich and away from the poor, that and those who are just trying to get by, that is corrupt and evil. But money itself is neutral.
Yeah, it's really about greed, isn't it? Yeah.
Greed and corruption. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of it in our world today.
Okay, well, so I know. So you have a new film coming out. We're going to talk about that. It's called Your Money Vibe. That's going to be really a great. And so let's talk about how you can actually shift your relationship with money into like one of ease and clarity and empowerment and all these things, and how that affects your mind, body, and your spirit.
Yeah, well, before we talk about how to shift it, let's just talk about what it is.
Okay.
And what people don't understand is that it is your inner world that gives rise to the circumstances and the events of your outer world. So when your inner world about money is filled with fear and anxiety and scarcity and maybe even negativity, and I don't want to think about money, I don't want to talk about money, or I'm no good with money, or I'm not one of the lucky ones. When your mind is filled with those thoughts and beliefs, that creates kind of the field, the energy field that you live in, and that creates what you bring into your life, what you attract into your life. So the more you have kind of what I call a low money vibe of, money is bad or evil, or I'm not good with money, or I'm not one of the lucky ones, money's hard. When you have a lot of negative thoughts and feelings about money, your energy field about money is also negative. So you don't bring in opportunities and experiences and, raises or new contracts or even, gifts, things being a little bit easier for you. When you have a high money vibe of like, I love money and money loves me, money's everywhere, I just need to bring it into my life. Money is a neutral expression of all the goodness in life. When you have a high money vibe of like happiness and sufficiency and positivity, when you have a high money vibe, it's funny, but money finds its way to you a lot easier. So the first thing that people need to understand is that they have a money vibe. And by vibe, I mean your inner world of beliefs, emotions, attitudes, and thoughts. You notice that spells BEAT, beliefs, emotions, attitudes, and thoughts. Your beat creates your vibe that creates your life, your money life.
Yeah. And I just want to add so people make sure they understand, vibe stands for like vibration, and everything in the universe is just vibrating energy. And so and so like attracts like. So whatever energy you're putting out, that's the kind of energy that you're going to attract to yourself.
And we use that word all the time. We say, oh, I don't know what it is about him, I don't like his vibe. Or, I met this really cool person, I just really liked her vibe. Or we go to a place and we're like, oh, wow, this place has a great vibe to it. We use the word all the time and we don't realize that there's actual science behind it. So, we're talking about the energy, frequency, and vibration of your thoughts and beliefs. And that's not woo-woo philosophy. That is actual science. You can watch the electromagnetic field of somebody's thoughts and emotions on an electromagnetogram or electroencephalogram. You can actually see the impact of people looking at negative images of war or destruction or famine versus beautiful images of an ocean or a sunset or a baby or a puppy. Your energy field changes. And we feel that when we're around other people, we feel their energy and their vibe. So you have that energy and vibe about money and about everything else, by the way, about work, about life, about politics. You have a vibe about everything. But it's your money vibe that is kind of the creative element. Like when I had a low money vibe, I was raised pretty poor. My mom was widowed, 3 kids and a high school education. So we didn't have a lot of money. She always used to say, I don't even have 2 nickels to rub together. I remember hearing that was one of the phrases that I grew up with. So, unconsciously, I absorbed that. Money's hard. I'm not one of the lucky ones. I don't have enough. I'm just getting by. Those were all of my beliefs about money back in the day. And when I started recognizing that no matter what I did, no matter how hard I worked, I was always just getting by, then I started to look at what's the common denominator here. And the common denominator was me and my thoughts and my beliefs. So I started, studying consciousness and vibration and energy and thoughts. And I wrote a book called Money Vibe. I hosted an educational online conference, a summit called the Money Vibe Summit. And now I'm producing this film called Your Money Vibes to help people understand that when you change your inner world, your outer world changes.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what people need to do to change that inner world. How do you go about changing your money vibe?
Yeah, sure. The first thing people have to do is get really present to what is your money vibe. And the way that I have people do that is I ask just three simple questions, and I'll tell you what they are, and then you'll get a sense. You'll get a sense very quickly about what your money vibe is. And the first one is, what do you most often think about money? And those are the thoughts. Like, do you think things like, I'm never going to make it in retirement, or I'm never going to retire, or I don't have enough, am I going to make it to the end of the month? Or do you think things like, oh, I'm like super blessed when it comes to money, and I'm so happy to see what's going to come my way, and positive thoughts. So first is, what do you most often think about money? Second one is, what do you most often feel about money? Now, thoughts and feelings are not the same thing. Thoughts are what's that voice that goes through your head. Feelings are what's in your body, the sensations, the emotions. A lot of people feel a sense of tension and heaviness and fear and anxiety and worry and stress about money. Those are low vibe states versus excited and expansive and optimistic and happy about money. Those are high vibe states. So question number one, what do you most often think? Question two, what do you most often feel? And then question three, a little bit easier to observe, what do you most often say about money? What actually comes out of your mouth in your conversations with your friends or your spouse or your boss, your employer? What are the things that you think, feel, and say about money? So when you write those down and you look at your answers, you're going to see very quickly, do I have a high or low money vibe? Most people that I teach this work to have a pretty low money vibe. They most often think, I'm not going to have enough. They most often feel scarcity, stress, and worry. And they most often say things like, money is hard and I'm just getting by.
Yeah.
That's what I see over and over and over again. So that's the first step. You have to gain awareness into what your money vibe is. Step number one. The second thing that you have to do is recognize that you are the active agent in changing your money vibe. You are the one that can change it. Take full responsibility for the way that your financial life is. And the third thing that you need to do is begin changing your money beliefs. So go back to that writing exercise of those three questions. And instead of thinking, money is a hassle and I never do well, what thoughts can you replace it with? You can replace it with thoughts of like, well, I don't know yet, but maybe it could go better for me. Like, that's even getting to a neutral thought of maybe it could go better for me is going to change your energy and vibration. So noticing the thoughts that you have and then changing your inner dialogue by writing down new thoughts that you want to start practicing. As you practice new thoughts about money, what will happen is that will generate more positive feelings. One of the things I like to have people do to generate more positive feelings is to do an abundance inventory. And what I mean by that is go through your house and notice all of the things that you have an abundance of. I have an abundance of athletic gear and warm winter coats and hats and scarves. Many of you that live in the North probably do as well. I have an abundance of kitchen things and coffee mugs and, sports gear. I have an abundance of friends. I have an abundance of beautiful furniture and artwork around my home. I have an abundance of all things necessary to lead an extraordinary life. I have an abundance of clothes. Now, abundance means I have more than enough than what I need. I have 5 kayaks. I have 3 waterfront homes. I have an abundance of waterfront homes. I have 2 jet skis. I have an abundance of jet skis. Notice where all of the places that you actually have more abundance than scarcity. The reality is, if you're watching this show, you have more abundance than scarcity. You have technology. You have the time, abundance of time to watch or listen to a show like this. So what happens is that your brain is automatically programmed for you to survive, and it notices all of the things that are missing in your life. It's called the negativity bias. And when you start focusing on all of the places that you have an abundance, your brain literally starts to rewire itself for a higher vibration and a higher level of belief. So those are just a couple of things that people can do to start rewiring their beliefs. Look at the beliefs that you have, write them down, from the writing exercise, write new beliefs and memorize those, start saying them to yourself, use them as affirmations, do an abundance log to keep track of all of the ways that you have lots of blessings in your life.
Yeah, that's so good. I like to always tell people about, our beliefs are creating our reality. So why believe anything negative about yourself? Why not always believe something really positive? Because you can choose whatever you want to believe. So we're getting short on time here, Jackie. So I know you, and we'll put this link. I know you have a Money Vibe e-course, a free course that people can get on your website. So we'll put that information in the chat, how they can find that. And then just in a couple of minutes we have left here, talk about your new movie. What's all involved with your movie?
I'm just completing a full-length documentary film called Your Money Vibes. If you go to that website, yourmoneyvibes.com, you can sign up to get information about the release of that film. And it's a movie that features myself and spiritual teachers like Marcy Shimoff, Joe Vitale, Lynn Twist, Michael Beckwith, Marissa Peer, Dawson Church, Bruce Lipton, some of the real icons in our field talking about the energy, frequency, and vibration of money, how to raise your money vibe, and how to understand how you got to have the money vibe that you have.
Wow, that's so good. That's so important. Well, Jackie, as usual, thank you so much for all that great information, and thank you for all the work that you're doing. And we will definitely put all the information, how they can get that free course, and then also how they can learn more about your new movie coming out, Your Money Vibe. So,
great.
So thank you so much for being here. That was great.
Always great to be with you, Rico. I appreciate your show.
Thank you very much. And thank you, our audience, for being here as well. Okay, we are back. So again, I definitely, if you want to raise your money vibe, which is pretty important, you need to raise your vibrations anyway to manifest whatever you want, not just money in your life. So I highly recommend you get a hold of our guest, Jackie Woodside. She's the real deal. All right, we have one more message to play for you, and then we'll have our third episode.
In a perfect world, we would all be happy. In a perfect world, we would all be happy, healthy, and successful. But stress, family, genetics, and life's little surprises take their toll on our brains, our bodies, and our psyche. And our quality of life suffers because we're not functioning at our best. Well, you can start by training your brain with the Quantum Mind Method. This is not a game, and it's not a toy. It's developed by the world's only brainwave entrainment engineer, backed by over 40 years of research and development. It's 100% natural and couldn't be easier to use. With regular listening, your brain will naturally become stronger, more efficient, your most reliable ally, and all with almost no effort. You can achieve anything you want and get the most out of your life with the Quantum Mind Method. The world is yours, so take it. Take it now.
All right. And again, I highly recommend you check out the Mind Trainer Pro. It's one thing you can be doing all these things we talk about for your physical health, but if you neglect your brain health, it doesn't matter if you have a fit, healthy body, but you lose your brain power, it's not good. So he definitely has the most advanced ways to easily listen to these audios that will really improve your brain power and functioning. So that's so important. All right, here's our third segment. It's all about how you can prioritize your self-care when you're over 50. Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And the title of this segment is Prioritizing Your Self-Care Over 50. It's the best investment you'll ever make. And I am totally in agreement with that. And our expert guest today, his name is Carlos Reyes. He's a veteran of the health and fitness industry and has extensive experience as a wellness coach and certified personal trainer. And over the past 35 years has been fortunate enough to work with a diverse group of individuals whose goals were just as diverse, such as weight loss, weight gain, body reshaping, post-injury fitness, and rehabilitation. So Carlos Reyes, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Rico, for inviting me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here. I mean, you and I are birds of a feather. We've been doing this work for many, many years. We're both pioneers, I think, in the personal training business. So let's start by, I'm just ask you, tell us just real briefly about your journey, how you became a personal trainer, how you got motivated to do this.
Long story short, I was an art major in college, but I didn't want to be a starving artist. So I decided to get a regular job just to pay my bills until I got my art career going. So I started as a sales associate at Bally's Jack LaLanne. I was terrible at sales, though. I had a very hard time overcoming objections. But I loved the one-on-one, the working one-on-one with people. Mm-hmm. They got to know me. I got to know them. I've always been a fitness kind of person. Sports teams when I was a young adult, martial arts. So I've always been physical, and I just took to working with people one-on-one. And that was sort of, the beginning, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah. I totally understand that. Yeah. So, well, let me ask you. It's so well known now, commonly well known. How important it is to take care of our health and to get fit and all the benefits of exercise and eating healthy. I mean, hardly anybody that doesn't know that. But why do you think still so many people are not really taking care of themselves, or are not, developing a personal wellness program? Why do you think that is?
I think part of the problem is messaging. I think we're so focused on the external, like the extrinsic benefits of working out, whether it's six-pack abs or buns of steel or things like that. I think if we reframe the message from just being, let's say, physically fit or attractive, let's say, to a healthful lifestyle, framing it as a lifelong endeavor so you can continue to prosper and live a fulfilling and satisfying life as you get older, right? Because as we know that the population is getting older, they predict that in the next decade, there are going to be more 60-year-olds than there are people who are younger than 60. Mm-hmm. If we start reframing the message as a healthy lifestyle, long-term lifestyle endeavor, I think we'd be able to get more people interested in taking better care of themselves.
Yeah, no, that's very true. But I think that message is becoming more and more prevalent. There is a lot of that going on, but still a small percentage of people that actually are, they do have a personal wellness program and are trying to eat healthy and more concerned about our health. I guess it's such, we just got so distracted by, all of our technology and it's all about how much money you can make and all these things. We just kind of lost the concept of how important that our health is our true wealth, don't you think?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I think that what you just said about being distracted by other things that aren't as important and won't return the investment that we put into, like we're so concerned over, how our portfolios, our investment portfolios are doing, and how much money we have. The one thing that we can't take back or get back is time. But if you invest the time in your health and well-being, that investment is going to return dividends for the rest of your life.
Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah, if you don't have good health, you don't have anything. Health is our true wealth. No question about it. So, talk a little bit about your coaching and why. Coaching nowadays is known to be the fastest and surest way to achieve your goals in any aspect. So, talk a little bit about why having a coach is so important and why coaching is so effective.
Having a coach is really important because what you're looking for is the easiest and fastest path from where you are to where you want to be, right? You said earlier, we have all the information, but it's also very hard to process all of that information because there is so much information, right? And it's coming at us from multiple directions. Work out this way, eat that, don't do this, do that. And so what a coach can do is they can point you in the right direction and plan out a path with you, right? To get you from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time. And so what I do, I work with the over 50 population. All of my clients are successful in almost every other aspect of their lives, but they still have trouble incorporating a regular exercise routine into their daily lives. Right? And so my job is to make it as efficient and effective as possible for them to incorporate that exercise routine into their lives without more stress or overwhelm.
Yeah, that's no question about it. I just want to add to that. I've worked with, I'd say really high percentage of some of the most successful and busy people, like really well-known, really successful people take the time to have a trainer, have a coach, because they know that it's going to help them. Even if their goal is just to be more successful, well, because it takes a lot of energy and good health to be successful, right? So if you really want to be highly successful, you got to have good health and have a lot of energy. So it's so important to have a coach. Yeah. Well, okay. Then my next question is, though, as you know too, a lot of people maybe start some kind of a exercise program or healthy eating or a wellness program, but then they don't stick with it. So give us some of your tips for keeping people how they can stay motivated to follow through and keep a program going.
The one tip that I know has been very successful for all of my clients is to promote it. Promote what you're trying to accomplish. And what I mean by that is you tell everybody around you, all of your friends, your family, your loved ones, what you're trying to accomplish, because they will help to motivate you. Oftentimes they will become your biggest cheerleaders. And in most cases, they will join you. So you'll have a partner, right? So you'll be accountable to these people who love you and who you love. And as long as everybody understands that the reason you're doing this is because you want to be around for a long time so you can continue to take care not only of yourself, but of them. That's the one big difference that I have found works with my clients. Just promote what you're trying to do, that you're trying to take better care of yourself, and why you're trying to take better care of yourself, so you can take care of those who rely on you.
Yeah, that's so good. That's really good, Carlos. Yeah, I think that really emphasis is that to let them know that the reason you want to be healthy and live longer is so you can be with them and take care of your family. Yeah, that's really good. I really like that. Yeah. Well, just mention a little bit. Who's your ideal client? Who do you like to work with?
My ideal client is an active over 50 professional who wants to continue to perform at a high level into their 60s, 70s, 80s, and in some cases 90s. My oldest client is 94.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. Well, that's another good point. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what your current condition is, or what maybe health challenges you have, or what your age is. You can get started now. It can make a big difference, right?
Today is the day. There is no better day. I tell all my clients that it's never too late, but you don't have forever. So the sooner you get started, the more you're going to benefit from taking better care of yourself.
Yeah. And don't you agree that, again, it doesn't matter what your age is. You can make some great gains and improvements no matter what your current condition or what your age is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. I have a client who I've been working with for now 8 years. He's going to be 78 this coming September. When he came to me, he had just celebrated his 70th birthday, and he had lost the ability to tie his own shoes. I mean, literally, he could not tie his shoes anymore. So he was wearing slippers. So he came to me and he said, "Do you think you can help me regain that ability?" And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, that's so good. I had the same experience with people. Well, I know you have before we let them know how they can get a hold of you and contact you and learn more about your coaching programs. I know you have a gift for our audience. It's called your 3-step process. Talk a little bit about that, and then we'll let people know how they can get a hold of that free uh, a program for you that you have to offer. Yeah.
So it's the 3 simple steps to help make your exercise routine stick, and it's basically anybody can use these 3 steps, and they work. So the first thing is you post it, and what I mean by post it is you write it down. And you write it down in specific terms, what exactly it is that you want to accomplish. Mm-hmm. Do you want to, and it could be anything. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to be more flexible? Do you want to have more energy? And then you plan it out. When do you want to accomplish this goal? By when? In 30 days, in 90 days, and how are you going to do that? And then the last part, which we've already talked about, is promote it. Tell everybody who's in your inner circle, people who love you and people who you love, your coworkers, your significant others, your best friends, and share that with them, because they will, again, be your biggest cheerleaders. They'll motivate you, they'll hold you accountable, and they'll celebrate your wins.
Yeah, that's so good, Carlos. That is really good. So we'll put how you can contact Carlos and get your copy of his 3-step process, and also we'll put the link where you can contact him to learn more about his coaching programs and how you might want to become a client for him. So Carlos, thanks very much for being here, and thanks for the work that you're doing. And it was great to meet you. I'll say you and I are birds of a feather. We've been doing this same kind of things for a long, long time. So great to meet you, and so thank you very much for being here. That was really good.
It was great. Great to meet you too, Rico. Thanks for the invitation.
And thanks to our audience. All right. All right, we are back. And again, that was all about how to take better care of yourself. And again, I like some of his tips about how to actually make it a priority, because it's not just about for yourself, but you want to be able to stay healthy and energetic and vital for your family and for all of those that you serve. So once again, I just want to let you know, I want to be really clear that anything that we recommend here on the show is all our services and products that we know are really good quality. They're highly beneficial, and we're quite confident you'll get some really good benefit from out of using those products or services. So I just want you to know that we're not just putting up anything that we can. So and then also I want again to let you know that we are here for you. The whole purpose of this show is to give you some great information that can really help you to age well and to get past all these chronic illnesses that most people are experiencing, and to not have to get old and sick like most people in America and dying way too young. So that's what we're all about. So if you like today's show and our shows, I appreciate it. You can we'll put the link in the show description. You can subscribe to our show. Then you'll know when our shows are always aired on the major streaming channels, wherever you're watching it, on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. But you can always find them on e360tv.com, and you can find them on our YouTube channel. And so also, if you have any ideas for different topics that you'd like to know about, you can send me an email. I'll also put that in the show description. And the last thing I always want to let you know is that we offer you a lot of great knowledge and wisdom, but you have to take action on it. You got to step up and take action. You know, Einstein's famous saying, knowledge without action is useless. So you've got to step up and take action. And that's really the whole point of our show, Fearless Aging, and my ageless living lifestyle, is that we need more people like you to stay healthy and energetic and live longer, so you can give back your knowledge and your wisdom to help solve all these monumental challenges that we're having on this planet as humanity. And also we need more role models and mentors for younger people. So we need you to take action and to be healthier and to live longer, and so you can go out and make a bigger positive impact in the world. So I think that's it for today's show. So as always, go out and live your best life and see how you can serve humanity, so we can learn how to live in peace together and create a much more prosperous and healthy and joyful world for everybody. Thanks everybody for being here. Be well.